Hey guys, and welcome. My name is Jennifer Dixon with Thrive Yoga and Wellness. And today I thought I would invite you guys into a live session that we are doing every single day. We are publishing several that are recorded here on this YouTube channel. But if you would like to join us live, we definitely have that option, and you can find out more at thriveyogaandwellness.com. You can sign up for a class there via MindBody, and you'll get a Zoom link, and you can participate in classes just like this one, a high-intensity yoga-inspired workout. But we also have amazing yin and restorative yin yangs, more flows, more traditional type yoga classes that you can definitely join in basically every single day. So let me make sure my camera is good. And if you are here and can hear me, let me know. It looks like we got someone watching. I hope you enjoy it. Do keep in mind that I will respond to comments as best as I can, mostly because I don't have a camera right here beside me, or I do have a camera, but I don't have the screen really close to me. So I hope you guys enjoy this session. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to get started on our mats in an easy seated position. You can do Sukhasana, one heel closer in set than the other, or you can do crisscross applesauce, yogi's choice. Trying to remove the flesh and get your sits bone pressed firmly into the mat. Go ahead and sit up tall. Bring the crown of your head up towards the sky and rotate those shoulders down and away from the ears. Let's do that a few more times. Go really slow and recognize how yucky it feels to have these shoulders up so high, but how good it feels to pull them down and away from the ears. So why would we ever hunch over, right? It feels yucky once you've kind of sat up straight and tall, right? We're going to go ahead and take that left hand to the right knee. Right hand places on the ground behind you. Gaze over that right shoulder. Keep your chin slightly tucked, especially if you have some cervical issues. I find that's more helpful than looking up to keep the alignment nice and straight. Keep the belly in. Inhale, let's come forward, and we're going to do that on the other side. Left hand plants behind you. Right hand's going to go to the left knee rather. Sit up real tall, but don't let your ribs flare out. And gaze over that left shoulder. Chin is slightly tucked. One more. Beautiful. Coming back to center. Bring your hands to your knees, and let's go through a couple of seated cat-cows. So we're going to round through the spine a whole bunch. And then we're going to sit up tall and straight and transition. Chest comes forward like you would be dropping your belly towards the ground. Now let's do that with your breath. Maybe you inhale back and exhale forward, or maybe it's opposite. You just move with your breath here. Now, if that's your spine is starting to get warmed up, you can start to move in maybe these little more organic movements here, like circles, maybe pressing one shoulder forward, then the other, little mini twist, just kind of getting the morning kinks out of the spine. Remembering always to combine every movement with your breath. So inhale one way, and then you'll exhale the other way. Mindful movements. All right, now we're going to come to stillness. We're going to take that right hand down to the ground on the outside of your hip, and then let's go ahead and stretch out that upper trap neck area. You can bring your left hand to your right shoulder if you like. Keep your chin tucked, or you can try looking up, really stretching out along the side of that neck. All right, inhale, bring that head up. Let the left hand go down, and then we'll reach that right ear towards the shoulder, feeling a tremendous stretch here along the outer part of your neck and maybe into your upper trap. Upper traps tend to, these upper trapezius, they tend to overfire, especially if you're sitting at a desk and rounding forward. Inhale, coming up. Now we're going to bring those knees into our chest. Give them a squeeze. And then let's go ahead and roll over to our hands and knees and start to warm up the body a little bit through some spinal balance exercises. So we'll go ahead and extend that right leg out behind us. Really push through that right heel to get a nice calf stretch. You want those hands to be pressing into the mat firmly, but don't lock out your elbows. Keep your elbows bent slightly, especially if you have hypermobile elbows. Let's go ahead and pick up that right foot, but don't drop the belly. We're not doing any cow backs, right? We want that belly nice and strong. So it's almost like the low back is pressing into the ceiling. And then we keep those hips nice and square, energy out through those right feet. Pretend you're walking on the wall, matrix style. Extend that left hand out in front, like you're trying to give somebody, reach and shake their hand maybe. But don't let your shoulders get all cattywampus. Stay nice and strong here, flat back, strong belly, strong core. Good job. Good job. Now we're going to go ahead, plant that left hand, plant the right knee. Go ahead, wiggle it out, just warming up really slow. Extend that left leg out behind you, pushing out through that heel. Get a great stretch for those calves, keeping the belly nice and engaged. And then we're going to go ahead and lift that left foot up off the mat. Keep the belly strong. Remember, we want to keep the hips square, not letting the low back dump in. Energy out through that left foot. Really pretending that we're walking on the wall, Neo style. Extend that right arm out in front like you're trying to shake your friend's hand. We're all doing this, mentally right now, right? Keep the shoulders square and hold this nice movement here for another 3, 2, 1. Plant the right hand, plant the knee. Let's do one cat-cow. So we'll drop the belly looking up. And then we'll round through the spine, looking down. Good job. All right, let's plug those toes into the mat and just hover the knees up off of the mat, endeavoring to warm up the core for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straightening the knees, lifting your hips, coming into your very first downward facing dog. Press those hands into the mat. Pretend you're trying to rip the mat apart between your hands and feet. So your feet are going back and slightly out. And notice the activation that happens along the outer part of your thighs when you do that. Your hands are going forward and out. And notice the tricep and latissimus, those lats activation as you do that. Keep the belly nice and engaged. Slightly suck it in to get that belly button towards the spine and gaze either at your belly button or towards your knees. Holding this here for another few breaths. One more breath. Beautiful job. Inhale, let's go ahead and look forward. On the exhale, we're going to walk ourselves forward to a standing forward fold. Your feet can stay about hips width distance, maybe a little wider. Bend the knees and clasp opposite elbows. Let the head dangle here as you maybe sway side to side, getting your hamstrings and low back used to the idea of this posture. If you want, you can kind of tuck your chin a little more and invite the cervical to stretch with this. Going to be here another few breaths, yogi's choice. One more. All right, push down a whole bunch into those big toes as you roll yourself up. Belly to spine, protect the back. Reach those hands up really high. Right hand grabs the left wrist as we pull it over towards the right, trying to keep your shoulders square to the front of your mat. Inhale, coming up. Left hand grabs right wrist, pull it up. Biceps squeeze the ears as we reach over towards the left. Inhale, coming up. And on the exhale, we're going to forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift to prepare. Exhale, plant those hands, shoot those feet back to this high plank, holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, push yourself forward, coming down to your low plank. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Enjoy this down dog for 3 breaths as we start to get ready for the idea of more vigorous movements. One more. Inhale, look between those hands. Exhale, walk, step, maybe float forward. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, let's slowly roll up. Use your glutes, not your back. Reach your hands up overhead. And on the exhale, we're going to come to a nice chair pose. First chair pose of our practice, so maybe it's not as deep as it will be in our next version. Keep that belly in, rib cage nice and knitted in. We don't want cheerleader booties, right? So tuck that tailbone in, sit down a little lower, building some heat now into the thighs. For another 5, shoulders away from the ears. 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant the hands down on either side of the foot. Forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. And on the exhale, we're going to take those feet to the back of the mat, coming into your low plank. Hold this low plank if you can for 3, 2, 1. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Plant that left heel down at the back of the mat. Bring that right foot forward in between the hands as we come into our very first warrior 1. Hands reaching straight up and overhead. Maybe they touch in a prayer pose overhead. If that makes your shoulders too tight, don't worry about it. Leave your hands, shoulders width distance apart. Sink into this warrior 1 as we build more heat on that right thigh. Stretch out that left hip flexor for one more breath. Exhale, plant your hands, take your vinyasa. So that's this high plank, low plank. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Right heel's going to plant. Left foot's going to swing forward, coming into your warrior 1 on the left. Really sink into that right knee. Feel a great stretch here on this right hip flexor. Notice my right toes are pointing to the right front corner of the mat. My right shoulder is reaching forward to square off to the front. Left knee is bent as deeply as you can for another few breaths. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, plant your hands, coming back to your high plank and take your vinyasa. Catch your breath. One more. Beautiful. Now let's go. Inhale, high plank. And we're going to hold this here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shimmy that left foot a little bit closer to the right. Inhale, we're going to roll or pick up our right foot and roll ourselves forward into this plank. Hold this one-legged plank for 5. Keep the hips square. 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll yourself back. Plant that right foot. We're going to catch our breath for 1. Now pick up that left foot. Roll yourself forward, coming into this plank. Hold this plank for 5. Keep the hips square. 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll yourself back. Set that left foot down. Inhale, we're going to pick up that right foot. Exhale, rolling back out to plank. Hold this here for 3, 2, 1. Right knee to right elbow. Shift it back. Right knee to your nose. Shift it back. Right knee to your left elbow. Shift it back. Come to your 3-legged dog. Right leg's reaching up to the sky. Press into the thumb and the pointer fingers, but don't lock the elbows. Bend that right knee. Reach that right heel towards your left shoulder. Belly stays strong. Then we're going to straighten that right foot. Inhale here. And then on the exhale, we're going to bend the right knee. Shift it through. Set it down in between the hands. Here we are setting up for Crescent Lunge. Not going to go there quite yet. Sink those hips really deep, trying to get your bottom in line with your knee. See if you can maintain this position with a neutral spine, so tailbone still down. On the next inhale, we're going to hover those fingertips. Keep the belly nice and strong. Keep the tailbone down. Feel your right glute and hamstring really start to work as you pull your chest up into what is possibly the lowest Crescent Lunge you've done. Keep those hips in line with the knees. Really shoot energy out through that left heel for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to give that right butt cheek a break. Left hand comes down to the mat. Right hand reaches towards the sky for a gentle twist. If you want, you can try to internally rotate that right shoulder. Take the right hand around and behind to open up across the chest a little bit more. 1 more. All right, ground that left knee down. Swoop that left foot out towards the side as we bring that right foot to the back of the mat. A modified side plank. Again, remember we're the matrix, so that right foot is pressing into the wall behind us. Now, keep your right hand here on the hip to make sure the right hip is reaching up. We're going to swoop that right foot forward. Try to keep it at hips width level and then swoop it back. We're going to do that 4 more times. Swoop the right foot forward, keep it at hips and back. Forward, back, that's 3. Forward, back, that's 4. Forward, back, that's 5. Keep that foot lifted. Well, now what we're going to do is swing it forward and do little pulses for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel the glute work as you shoot it to the back. Now we're going to do these little side plank crunches, knee to elbow for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Extend it out long. Now we're going to set the right hand down, right foot down, and take your vinyasa. Your right glute should be talking to you. It's a good thing. All right, I'm switching sides. Let's go ahead and do that on the other side. Here we are in our downward facing dog. Let's lift that left foot up high to the sky. We're going to roll ourselves out to this plank, holding that plank here for 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to take that left knee to your left elbow. Shoot it back. Left knee to your nose. Shoot it back. Left knee to your right elbow. Shoot it back. We're going to bring that left heel all the way up to the sky. Bend that left knee. Reach that left heel towards the right shoulder. Keeping the belly long and in so we're not curving in the back. All right, straighten that left leg. We're going to bring it through. In between the hands. Now, keep the hands on the mat to help you get your bottom in line with your knee. This might be challenging, especially if you have really tight hip flexors, but we're going to enjoy this stretch. Now, remember, neutral spine throughout this entire thing. So no cheerleader bottoms with your bottom up in the air. So if you need to, maybe you even think about Steve Urkel bottom. We're not really going to tuck it that much, but sometimes I have to think that in order to get the neutral spine. Suck the belly in, hover the fingers. See if you can keep that neutral spine here with hovered fingers. Then coming up as if we were coming through molasses, we're coming to our Anjaneyasana Crescent Lunge. Endeavoring to keep that left hip in line with the left knee. Energy out through that right heel. Hands are up and overhead. Really, really, really try to sink into that left leg to build tremendous heat and strength. Energy out through that heel. Really push that heel back for another 3, 2, 1. Right hand comes down to the mat. Enjoy this beautiful grounded twist. Keep that that heel in the back, really pushing back. Right foot stays really active as we twist this out. Left knee stays bent. We can do that same half bind, taking that left hand around and behind. I like to keep my chin slightly tucked when I'm looking up to protect my neck a little bit for another 3, 2, 1. Take that left hand, reach it up towards the sky. Right knee comes down to the mat, swoops out to the back, and then bring that left foot up to and towards the back. Now we're pressing that left foot into the wall beside us, behind us. Left hand's reaching up. We're going to do 5 of those little swoop forwards. Try to keep your heel in line with your hip. Try to keep your hip stacked over the left hip stacked over the right. Let's swoop it forward for 5. Back. 4. Back. 3. Back. 2. Back. Last 1. Back. Good job. Now remember, we're going to swoop it forward. Do those pulses for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swoop it back. Now we have the crunches. Try to keep the heel in line with the hip, even with these crunches for 5, 4, 3, 2, And one. Stretch it out, stretch it out. Set that left hand down to the mat. Left foot comes to the mat and move through your vinyasa. Oh, that butt cheek should be talking to you. Here we are in downward facing dog. Let's stretch out those hammies and maybe even the glutes and the shoulders as we press the chest towards the thighs. I don't love hanging out here, but it's kind of nice as a break. Now we're going to get into the upper body a little bit. Let's bring that right forearm down, left forearm down. My favorite upper body drill in yoga, dolphin push-ups. Suck the belly in. We're going to go for 8. Here we are in dolphin pose. Going to take the nose towards the thumb for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job, good job. Come back to your downward facing dog. Say a little prayer that we aren't doing those anymore. Let's take that left hand to the right ankle. Twist this out with a little break. Left hand plants, right hand to the left ankle. All right, right hand plants. We're going to swoop ourselves forward to a high plank. Now, see if you can pick up that right foot in this high plank. Hold your hips nice and square. Hold this here for 3, 2, 1. Bring that right knee in and set it down between the hands from plank. See if you can do that. Go ahead and seal that left foot off at the back of the mat, parallel to the back of the mat. Swoop that left hand up towards the sky, setting up for a beautiful warrior 2. Trying to keep your right knee in line with your right shoulder, getting this warrior 2 nice and deep. Look down at those right big toes as we suck the belly in. Inhale, push yourself up to this beautiful Virabhadrasana. Warrior 2. Gazes over those right middle fingers. Shoulders are down and away from the ears. Let's stretch out our right side body. Send that left hand down the back thigh, right hand up in this peaceful warrior. You can look down at those left big toes, or you can look up at the right fingertips. Sinking into that right knee still. We're going to windmill those hands back to warrior 2. Right elbow to the right thigh as we swoop that left hand forward, extended side angle. Now you can leave your right elbow right here as a little bit of a break, or you can hold up this tray, or maybe you hold a beach ball. We're going to hold this here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that beach ball in your hands as you straighten the legs. Turn all of your toes towards the left, and then actually they're going to be kind of out, holding this beach ball in your nice goddess pose or sumo squat. So we're pretending we're hugging a tree, right? Knees are out, toes are out. We're going to turn towards the right, center, left, center, beautiful, right, center, left, center, sink low, right, center, left, center, one more, right, center, left, center, straighten everything up, turn the toes, point them forward, and then come into your separate leg stretching forehead towards the ground, Prasarita Padottanasana. Your hands are going to be on the mat. Potentially one day they'll be fingertips in line with the toes, and the head maybe one day will be in between the hands. Now, if you've got super long legs and a short torso, this may never happen. I have a long torso and short legs, so it's easier. Genetics plays a role here. All right, we've had a nice little break. Turn those body parts towards the front of your mat. Turn your right toes towards the right. Left feet are going to go out to the left a little bit. Toes forward. Keep that right leg nice and straight. Enjoying this beautiful hamstring stretch. Really get in here nice and strong. Now what we're going to do is soften that right knee. We're going to transition through a warrior 3 here. So pick that left foot up. Try to keep those hips nice and square like we did in our spinal balancing pose. Your hands can be grounded here on the mat like a grounded airplane, or you can take your hands to heart center. Suck the belly in and hold this warrior 3 for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swoop that left foot out towards the side, set it down on the mat about a little bit wider than hips width distance and come into a wide-legged chair pose or squat. Put that weight into the heels. See if you can get your bottom below the knees, but we're not dumping into malasana just yet. Hold this low squat, tailbones nice and long, belly's nice and in. Holding it here, maybe hands at heart center, or they can be reaching forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you can come into your malasana squat and enjoy a nice stretch for everything basically in the lower hemisphere. Elbows into the inner thighs as we push those knees apart. Now, if you want, you can stay right here in this wonderful hip opening stretch. Or if you want to go into crow pose, bakasana, you'll plant your hands onto the mat, lift your hips high into the sky, shimmy, shimmy those feet a little bit closer together. Elbows are going to bend back, not out. And you're going to set your knees high onto the triceps. Suck your belly in a whole bunch as you lift one or both feet up off the mat. Remember, you look forward. If you look down, you're going to fall down. You also want to keep a little bit of cat back in your spine. That'll help you to keep your belly nice and strong for 3, 2, 1. If you're still in crow, come on down. Come back to malasana. And now we're going to enjoy this stretch before we plant the hands. And maybe you go straight back through your vinyasa. But if you want to juice things up a bit, maybe you play with little froggy kicks. And you can do 3 to 5. And what we're trying to do is get the hips above the shoulders. If they're not going all the way up and you end up looking a little bit more like this, that's okay because you're getting cardio and you're teaching your hand and your body to get upright. If you're able to come up and slow down, that actually adds like core and shoulder work. And that's the goal, right? At first, you're just jumping. And then you get to the point where you can jump and slow it down. And then you jump and you slow it down. That one wasn't much of a slow down, was it? Take those feet back and move through your vinyasa. Catching your breath here. One more. Inhale. Let's go ahead and roll yourself out here to plank. We're going to pick up that left foot. Try to keep your hips square for 3, 2, 1. Bring that left foot forward in between the hands. Set that right heel down at the back of the mat, setting up like a warrior 2. So that back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Tummy is nice and engaged, super flexed. As we reach that right hand up towards the sky and slowly build your warrior 2. Now, this is a really great stretch for the right inner thigh and hip flexor while still building awesome strength in the left butt cheek and left quad. Hands are reaching in opposite direction. Gaze is over that left middle finger. Flip that left palm and let's make this a reverse warrior. So that right hand can be down the right thigh or it can be reaching around for that left inner thigh. Sink it in here. One more. Come back to your warrior 2. Then we're going to set that left elbow on the left thigh. Swoop the right hand forward. Come into your extended side angle. You can stay right here, left elbow to that left thigh to kind of give you a little bit of help. You can hold a tray out in front of you, or you can hold this beach ball. Hold that beach ball with the left knee nice and bent for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the beach ball with you as you turn your toes towards the right and come into this goddess pose. Hugging that tree still. Now we're going to take those elbows out wide, squeeze the space between the shoulder blades, and then hug the tree. Elbows out wide, really squeeze that back body, and then hug the tree. Elbows out again for that's 3. Forward, 4, forward, sink down lower, 5, hold the tree. Now we're going to take that right elbow towards the right thigh and back. Left elbow to the left thigh. Keep the tree and back. 5 of these on each side. A little bit of oblique work while we got the core, the booty working. Here's 3. And here's 2. Good job. And then last one. Beautiful, beautiful. Come back here. Sink, sink, sink. Now straighten everything up. Toes are going to point forward or pigeon toe. Take those hands around and behind. Pull them down and away from you as you forward fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. This is C. Eventually the head will be kind of on the mat and the hands will hit the mat. But if that's not happening today, totally okay. Feel the great stretch across the front of your shoulders, maybe down into your chest. I love to slightly tuck my chin. All right, release those hands down to the mat. Turn towards the left foot. Left foot turns out towards the left. Right foot goes out towards the right a bit and comes forward as we stretch out this left hamstring. Enjoying this nice little break for the body. Suck the belly in a whole bunch. You guys know what's coming, sort of. We're going to mix it up just a little bit on this round. So we're going to soften that left knee ever so slightly to push off. Coming into your warrior 3 so you can keep your hands grounded here. You want to endeavor to keep your hips square. Right foot, lots of energy out that right leg. Right hip is square. Now maybe you play with bringing your hands up off the mat, keeping your chest parallel to the mat and leg parallel to the mat. This is a really tough pose, but we've got this for another 3, 2, 1. Swoop that right leg out towards the side. Maybe a little wider than hips width, toes out, heels in. Come to your squat position. Bottom below knee. So now instead of little pulses down and up, we're going to go all the way up for a little air squat chair challenge. And then come all the way down. Belly's nice and strong. That's 2 and 3. Don't let your tailbone go out too far. And 4 and 5. Squeeze the glutes. And 6 and 7 and 8. Coming up to standing, shake it out. We're going to do one balance pose, and then we'll start to come down to the mat. Super quick class for you. So now we're going to take those feet, right feet, plant them into the mat, really strong. Really strong. If you want, you can try to even pick up your toes, some like yoga for toes, right? Now, keep your hands here on your hips to try to remind them to stay square. Soften that right knee as much as you need to, because a locked knee equals your bottom can't work as much. If you soften the knee, your quads and your glutes can work a little more, which is what we want, right? So we got that right knee soft, right feet planted into the mat. We're going to lift that left foot. Keep the belly nice and strong. You can have your left knee bent, or you can grab hold of the left big toe and extend it out here. Chest is proud. We're going to hold this for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to take that right hand, grab the outside of the left foot or the left knee as we bring that left hand out towards the back of us. All right, hold this here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly, with your gaze, bring your body forward. Let go of that foot. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee and set it down. Shake it out. Holy core city, right? It's pretty awesome. All right, let's do that on the other side. We're going to ground down a whole bunch through that left foot. Remember, you don't want to lock the left knee. Keep the left knee kind of soft here. That's going to help you to engage your glutes and your quads, your whole leg a little bit better, which will ultimately help you to balance a little better and use your muscles more than your joints. All right, so suck the belly in, nice neutral spine, shoulders down and away from the ears. We're going to pick up that right knee. You can stay right here, or you can grab the right big toe. Your left hand is squeezing your belly super tight to remind your belly to stay flexed. Hold this here for another 5. Chest is proud. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take that left hand. It's going to reach for the outside of the right foot. Right hand reaches around behind you. or you can do this with a bent right knee. Same posture, same twist, great stretch for that IT band while we're balancing. Super Balance Challenge has you looking over those right fingertips. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly shift the gaze. Letting go of that foot. Hold it up here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set that right foot down. Shake it out. And let's take a vinyasa to head down towards the mat. Inhale, bring those hands up and overhead. And on the exhale, we're going to forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, suck the belly in. Exhale, plant the hands, move those feet back, coming to your plank, and then low plank. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. We're going to look between those hands, and we're going to come to a seated position. So if you want to practice jumping through, it might feel like it's better to have your hands really wide, because of your hips. But the wider your hands are, the less space your legs have to go through. So we really still want to keep them about shoulders width distance apart. I bend my knees a whole bunch and get my knees to my chest to help me to remember to keep my knees into my chest. As I kick forward, knees to chest, set it down. So it's kind of like abs extra credit, just on a jump through. We're going to keep those feet planted onto the mat about hips width distance apart. Bring our hands forward. So we've got about 45, 60 degree angle, and we got a relatively flat back. We're going to pretend to hold that tree again. So they're either out straight. I like to hold the tree because I feel like it gets those obliques a little bit more. Then we're going to go look over towards the right. Elbow comes down slightly. Center towards the left. Center, right, center, left. Center, channeling our inner Pilates, right, center, left, center. Keep those feet on the mat, right, center, left, center. Last one, right, center, left, center. Go ahead, bring yourself forward. Hold on to your knees if you need to. Now we're going to do one more thing of abs. This time we're going to get the legs involved. So if you want to add the hugging tree twist to get the obliques in, that's awesome. Or you can just work on the slow controlled bicycling. I'll demo it both ways. Inhale, set yourself up with a nice straight back, hugging your tree or arms out straight. And then we're going to lift those feet up to parallel, shins parallel to the mat. Now, when we take our arms over towards the right, the left leg extends out. Come back to center. Hands over to the left, the right leg extends out. Back to center, or you can just do legs right and left. Let's try to go for 5 on each side. Over to the right and back. Over to the left. That's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. And here's 4. Ooh, you can tell I'm getting tired. And here's 5. Hallelujah, we're done with core. Bring those knees into your chest. And let's go ahead and come into a Supta Baddha Konasana. No, it's not Supta. This is just Baddha Konasana because we're going to keep seated. Feet together, opening them up like a book. The knees splay out as we lean into this stretch for the inner thighs and low back. Holding it here. Inhale, coming up. Now we're going to take those feet out wide. And then come forward here. Slightly deeper stretch for the inner parts of those legs. And you're getting into the hammies as well, which we worked. If you want, you can bring your hands all the way out in front of you, forehead to the mat. I'm working my chest down to the ground. Hashtag goals. It was much easier when I was pregnant. All right, walk those hands up. Now we're going to go for a side stretch. You can leave your left leg out long, or you can bend that left knee, bring the left heel to the outer part of your butt cheek. Right shoulder plants down on the inside of the right leg. Right hand's going to grab the inside of the right foot. The left hand can reach up or it can reach overhead for that right foot. So it's like a twist hamstring. Amazing stretch for that. The obliques that we just worked a ton of, the psoas and that QL, everything around here, those low back twisty muscles. Inhale, coming up. I love gate pose. Extend that left leg out. You can still do this with your right leg out straight. It's the exact same pose. It's just, for me, it's not as good of a stretch for that low back twisty area instead of using big muscles. So I like to bring that right heel toward the outer part of my butt cheek. And then left elbow, left shoulder comes to the inside of the left leg. Left hand reaches for the inside of the left foot. Right hand reaches up, around, and maybe to the outside of that left foot. Gaze up towards the ceiling, maybe, if that feels okay. And feel everything stretching on the right side body. Inhale, come on up. We're going to bring both feet out in front. Plug those feet into the mat. Pretend there's super glue on the bottom of the feet. Nothing's going to pull them up. Let go of the knees, and with a flat back, go down as low as you can until you start to round. Then when you round, let it go. So slow control, flat back, flat back, flat back, flat back. Okay, I'm starting to round. So once I get to that point where I can't hold flat or my feet come up, I'm going to round and come down. Long body stretch here. Bring that right knee into your chest. Give it a squeeze. And then take that right knee over towards the left, twisting it out here. Gazing over the right fingertips. Right knee back into your chest. Give it a squeeze. Extend that right leg out long. And then bring that left knee into your chest. Give it a squeeze. Wind removing pose, so you get a great stretch for your right hip flexor. It's a great compression in the left hip. Now we're twisting this out, so we get a little bit of stretch along the IT band. Left butt cheek. Twisting out the spine. Inhale, bring your left knee back into your chest. Extend it out long. And let's come to our final resting pose, our Shavasana pose. So here we are, letting the feet wiggle, jiggle, then flop out to the sides. Heels get heavy. Shoulders pressing into the mat, down and away from the ears. Hips are really heavy. The backs of the hands are really heavy. And go ahead and let the earth support you, holding you down and supported and covered and safe. Your Shavasana is when you get all the benefits of your yoga practice, where the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system come back together. That's the fight or flight and rest and digest. We want them to marry up so where we can live in this calm, peaceful state at all times. Let go of any controlled breathing that you're doing. Any worries that you have, let them float by like clouds. Embrace the peace that you found. Breathe into it. Let it grow. Let it surround you like a nice, warm blanket on a fall day. Thank you so much for joining me in today's session. I hope you had fun. I hope that you were challenged just a little bit. And I hope that you will join us in the studio or online at thriveyogaandwellness.com. Again, my name is Jennifer Dixon. I'm so glad to have led you in this class today. And I can't wait to see you again very soon. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Take care. Bye-bye.